This is a first of its kind event for a public high school and a major human rights nonprofit to have a partnership. And really at the core of it, as the education program at RFK is called Speak Truth to Power, is to give students really a lot of voice in making a lot of decisions and speaking up for the world that they live in.
So the purpose of the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Climate Justice Workshop was for the students to kind of set the tone for the remainder of our trip. And since we're in DC, how can we encourage, our legislative offices and our executive offices, these federal folks and these people who have the power to get to the higher ups to address something about this issue?
I learned that the policymaking side of environmental reform is very important and also very difficult and is worthy of attention, because it's pretty simple to imagine how we can fix the world that we're in. But when it comes down to it, getting people to actually do that is pretty difficult.
And it was really interesting to talk to the EPA about how they are working to rebuild communities to not just be the way they were before climate disasters, but to rebuild them in a way that they can withstand future disasters.
We talked a lot about the concept of climate justice, which refers to the idea that damage done by climate change is not equally distributed across the world. For example, people in more impoverished communities are a lot more susceptible to the damages done by climate change. Leading on from this, we talked a bit about sustainability, which refers to the actions taken to ensure that both present and future generations can have access to all of the resources that they need to live from planet Earth. Together, climate justice and sustainability can work together to form a more equitable world while protecting the planet for future generations.
Once we actually started talking to them, it was like they were our friends and they just wanted to hear our voices and our concerns as young people growing up in this kind of climate and what we're doing to the planet.
We had a really rich discussion about what's more important, trying to abate climate change or adapt to climate change, and it came out that both were equally important, but just that students are really thinking about these issues deeply and really trying to come up with solutions.
So while I was gardening at the community garden in downtown DC, we learned that there's a 5-year wait list to get a small little plot of garden if you want to do that in your local area. And up here in Bangor, in the main area, if you own a house pretty much anywhere other than downtown, you can just buy a couple pieces of wood and start a garden. So access to gardening is a lot easier in rural communities.
We learned that helping communities makes new friendships, and by doing that, it makes stronger bonds between one another.
We met with student activists in DC and learned about their efforts to make the school greener. It's important for us to learn about these differences and similarities because it gives us a better perspective on how we can make the environment better.
They are involved in protest groups. They did an organization on Earth Day, but they are very passionate about getting solar panels at their school and working with solar power and any kind of better source of energy for the environment. But it's good to know that we're kind of on the same page and talking about how we can still make any kind of difference for the planet.
One of the things at their school that they're doing is composting, which I think we should do because we have a lot of food waste from the cafeteria. NOAA processes data from the surface of the sun to the bottom of the ocean. This agency includes the National Weather Service, and in partnership with other countries, NOAA studies Earth's real-time processes.
But then one of the coolest aspects of the data collection is the fact that NOAA sometimes uses citizen science. So essentially, a person like you or me, we can go out and we can use an app or something similar to collect data, and then we take this data and we upload it to a large database that NOAA then will analyze.
It was very interesting to see how an agency that's very scientific in nature is also concerned with human rights, diversity, equity, inclusion, all of these things that don't on the surface seem related, but really are, because the climate and the world we live in is a very interconnected place.
I took away a lot from the trip, but mostly I felt that it was really educational, and I had a lot of fun with the group in DC.
I'm really excited that our students were inspired to bring something back and to take it to the table here locally. And this is really all about getting people, our students and our community and our school, engaged in human rights issues. I want to thank the school committee and other school officials that have really endorsed this and given us the chance for this to happen, because Bangor is a leader, and we're so proud of this opportunity and look forward to seeing where it's going to go and how it's going to grow.